Hi guys, this week I'm going to be talking about my job and the fact that I never talk about it. So firstly, I'm a real estate agent. I actually work in and around Halifax. I love what I do, I get to help a lot of people and I get to meet new people and do a lot of events. As I've got longer into my career, I've been able to travel across North America, speak to people, teach with other agents and kind of get involved in my industry and helping it kind of move into a way where we can all improve what we do as agents. And I love that part of my job and I've met some incredibly talented and amazing people along the way. The reason I never really talk about it when it comes to my Halifax is I kind of started my Halifax for a different reason. I started my Halifax to be about the city and why I love it so much. When I was first an agent, I hadn't lived in Canada that long and I hadn't lived in Halifax that long. So as I was kind of going around doing the job, I was also learning lots about the city. As an immigrant to a country, you naturally start going to look for things that you think are cool and interesting. And for me, the more time I spent in Halifax, the more time I realized I loved it. And a lot of time people would say to me, you came from England to here, why would you ever do that? And then when I started pointing out the things that I loved about the city and having only been here for a short period of time, people started being like, oh yeah, I think you've got a point. And Gina and I just started dating and I was like, really want to make videos about why Halifax is cool. And because Gina's awesome, she was like, let's do it. And that's how we kind of started my Halifax. But I never really wanted this YouTube channel to be about real estate, which is why I've never spoke about it. We have other channels that we talk about that kind of stuff and there's video content I create for real estate. But I never wanted it to blend into this because a lot of the videos we do is about other people's businesses, and as a business owner or someone that has their own business, I know what it's like when you have to go out and kind of like market yourself or have someone try and share your story, and it can become very easily about something else. So my Halifax was really born out of a love for the city and a real want from me to kind of tell people's story and make it all about them, because a lot of the local businesses here weren't really using video or social media the way that I wanted to. So it was kind of a happy marriage. Now, for a lot of people don't realize that I am dyslexic, which is why I wear tinted lenses, which has been a problem in itself. I was diagnosed with dyslexia when I was 6 or 8-ish, and I was about 12 or 13 when someone suggested I use cover overlays, which is like a sheet of plastic you put over a document to kind of change the color of the background of it. So that makes it, the change of the color makes it easier for me to read. But the problem is you can't put an overlay on a whiteboard or a computer screen, so I was prescribed for my glasses. Here in North America, that was discarded by, I believe, the American Doctors or the American Association of Eye Doctors in the mid-2000s. So when most people see me wearing glasses or tinted lenses, they assume it's like for vanity or sunglasses. So people give me a hard time about it. But they've made reading a lot easier for me. People can tell me it's placebo effect at this point. I've been wearing them for 20 years, so if it's placebo, it hasn't worn off yet, but it makes my life easier. And the only reason I'm talking about my dyslexia is because when you struggle to read, there's a lot of things you miss out on. Like Gina is an avid book reader. For me, a lot of things she's read, if there isn't a movie version, I haven't read them, or I haven't seen, I don't know the stories. So I always gravitated towards films, movies, comic books, because that was something I understood. So it was only natural for me to go into creating video. So I've always liked being able to tell stories, but for me I never really felt that I was in a position where I ever had a story worth telling. But when I was walking through the city and I was learning different things about it, and you'd find like parts of our city that have lots of history and there's an interesting story there, I was like, well, I'll tell that story. And that's kind of why I've always built my Halifax around that. I love some of the local businesses we've gone and featured because they're doing things that are completely different, or they're carrying on a family business, or they've just tried to enter this market to kind of form their own stories. And I think that's really, really important, especially when you consider what's happening during the pandemic. And there is some really amazing stories happening during that. And video is by far the best format to tell a story, in my opinion. Now, I also happen to be a huge nerd. I grew up watching James Bond movies with my dad and my mom. Every Sunday we'd watch a James Bond. I love comics, I love The Flash, evidently from all my cool superheroes behind me. And a lot of stuff that I really, love is the idea of, especially superheroes, is people using their amazing talents to help other people, because I think it's really noble. And I think a lot of times we paint this idea that heroes have to be someone super, but a hero doesn't have to have superpowers. It could be something as simple as somebody starting a food drive so they can make, healthy food available cheaper to people that struggle to afford it. And that kind of thing is what makes a community, and those are the kind of stories that don't always get shared or sometimes get lost in the minutiae that is social media. And I just felt that for me, wanting to tell stories, those are the stories that I kind of wanted to tell. So the real reason I'm making this video is I had a client I met with the other day, and she said she found my YouTube channel. She's like, you never talk about your YouTube channel when we do work. I found it, and in your YouTube channel you never talk about being an agent. And she's like, why is that? And I was like, well, I've always tried to keep them separate, and I always tried to keep them separate because the main drive was to focus on the city, and the agent stuff was to focus on the client. But I just thought, I've been doing this for 5 years. It might be that time that I told you guys what I do for a living. Don't worry, this is not going to become a real estate channel in any way, shape or form. It's just something I wanted to share. We're probably going to have to change the format of the channel up a little bit. COVID is making it really tough to get into local businesses and share their story. I'm still constantly reaching out to some of these businesses to say, can we come make a video? I'm either getting no because it's too complicated, or I'm just not getting any responses back. I still love making stories, and I still love sharing other people's stories. So I might have to change the format a little bit where it goes a bit more running and gunning, more kind of a true vlog video vlog style channel. Maybe I give myself a challenge of something I want to film. Maybe I still can get into a local business that needs help, but it's probably going to be less formal than it is now, just so I can keep my want of telling stories. And maybe we make short movies now, I don't know, but I still want to be creative, and I still want this channel to continue with being focused on Halifax, but I need to obviously rethink of a way of being a bit more creative about creating that content. Thank you for watching this video. It may have been boring, I don't know, maybe you think it's interesting, but let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I'm an agent in the day and a vlogger by night. Thanks for watching this video. If there's any way you think we should make a video, let me know in the comments below. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.